Okay, so today we will learn about local business search engine optimization. It's a mouthful, but the concept isn't that hard. I promise. I'll make it very easy and simple for you guys to understand. Thanks for being here. Today's workshop is sponsored and co-hosted by Asian American Federation and Bridges from Borders. And thank you, Yan, for nice introduction. And thank you everyone for being here. I know you guys probably have Netflix open on the other screen. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, it's like everyone's busy. There are so many things that you guys can do. So really appreciate you guys for being here and sharing your time and your precious attention. So without further ado, let's start this workshop. We'll get right to it so you guys can get the most out of your time. Okay, so today's workshop.
Sorry, once again,
Yes.
Kevin, could you make sure that you are the highlighted speaker? I made Jan the highlight earlier, but I can't change
Oh,
now.
how do I do that?
I think on your end, you can just click on your video with
Oops.
the right side, right click,
Oh,
and
my
then
my video
highlight.
on the right side. Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay. And then I make myself do I say add spotlight?
Yes.
Replace spotlight?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. Spotlight's
Great.
on
Thank
me.
you.
Oh my God,
Yes.
so bright, so bright. Okay. All right, so let's do it. Okay, so just quick introduction so you guys know who I am. So I graduated at Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, New York, studied product design, and since 2015, I've been doing a lot of digital marketing, business strategy, and branding work. And I currently hold about 4 certification in Google when it comes to digital marketing and data and analytics. And currently, I am a founder and I'm running a small New York-based nonprofit web design agency right now. So that's what I do, and hopefully things I've learned over the years can be of help to you guys. Okay, so today's lecture summary is going to be divided into 3 parts. And so we're going to talk about what is local SEO, right? And we're going to then talk about why is it important, so you guys know what it is and why you should care, right? And then the third part is what are things that we could do to apply, right, to optimize it, and then and pretty much like get results and help businesses, and then we're going to run some Q&As. Okay, so you guys all heard of digital marketing, right? And there are different scenarios, but usually it's like potential customers who wants to solve some kind of problem, or they want a product or service that the business provide, right? So there's a business website, right? And there's usually like social media that you guys buy stuff from, or directories, which is like on Google Maps or Apple Maps, or Bing Places. So these have different directories like Yellow Pages in the past, right? And then people come to these marketing channels and then they buy, right? And then ultimately businesses want not just one-time purchase, but repeat purchase, right? So that they could build a relationship with customers. So usually what happens is that potential customers come in, they go to these marketing channels, they buy. But usually in order to boost the potential customers, there are different ways that people market these days, right? So one is like search engine keyword advertising, which is like the sponsored like search result pages that you see on Google, and it says like a little word that says sponsored at the top, right? So those are like based on the keyword that the businesses paid for, and so that's why they're on top of the Google pages. On the first page, there's social media advertising, which I'm sure you guys see all the time on Instagram or TikTok or um you know um X now, right? Not Twitter, on YouTube, right? There are all these ads that you guys are constantly exposed to. So those are all social media advertising. Blog content marketing is pretty much just writing about specific topic, like long form content, and then social media. I'm sorry, search engines like just pick up on all these keywords, and then over time, whenever people search for something, usually your blog will come up on search engines, and then usually at the end of the day, they want to sell some kind of product or service. And then email and text marketing, I'm sure you guys get that all the time. Also, it's just this is all part of our lives nowadays, and we're constantly exposed to these different type of marketings, right? And then the last one that which we're going to focus on talking about is the local search engine optimization. And you guys might be wondering, okay, what is that, right? And it's pretty much a strategy used by local businesses to improve their ranking and visibility in local search results. But unlike a lot of the other digital marketing that I've talked about, what I want you guys to take away is that with local search engine SEO, we don't have to really spend that much budget or like have like a lot of operational expenses on advertising to actually perform well and bring results to businesses. So it's aimed to help boost revenue for small businesses without additional ad costs. So that's a huge benefit to the local SEO. Sorry guys, I've been having like cough, so my throat is not the best. But all right. So, and then you guys may be wondering now, what is the current big picture looking like, right? So now that we just kind of know what generally what local SEO is, let's just talk about why it's important for us to, transition. Okay. So if we look at the current traditional marketing channels, a lot of the newspapers are going away. Everything is turning digital. When it comes to advertising, the things that we're exposed to, the reason like a lot of the traditional marketing channels are going away is because it's expensive. It's hard to track if their ads are performing well, and so and so forth. I mean, there are a lot of reasons, but they are going away, and people are not making as much money on traditional marketing channels, and it's also much more costly, right? So that's why like all the digital advertising shares are going up, whereas traditional advertisings are going down, right? And if we are also looking at the time spent on digital versus traditional media, obviously it's also, the traditional media is going down and we're spending a lot more time on the digital. So where the attention is, that's where the value is, right? Because if you think about it, like we say, oh, time is the most valuable asset that we have. I mean, sure, but like you can spend time with your friends, right? But if everyone's looking at their smartphone, are you really spending time together? So at the end of the day, I think the most valuable asset that we can give to anybody is our attention, right? So we are living in the attention, in a sense, that attention deficit society where attention is so rare that wherever there is attention is the most valuable thing there is, right? Because that's the only thing that we have. So that's where our attentions are online, right? And because of that, that's where the money is. All right. So the internet and smartphone users are going up. Global device penetration per capita, everything is just, that's the trend, right? Everything is just going up. So if you look at mobile search engine optimization statistics, as you can see, share of traffic is just going up. Like it's probably way higher now. 52.2% of all traffic worldwide comes from mobile phones. There are more searches on mobile than desktop. 51% of users have discovered new company or products when it comes to search on their smartphone. So it's like more than half, right? So this is why being able to be discovered on your mobile phones and search results are extremely important. Okay, and if I go up, so also the pace of technological advancement, information overload is quite significant. So so Google has released a statistics that every 2 years the amount of content that's being released is more than the content that's combined till then. What I mean by that is like right now is about to be 2024, right? So the amount of content that's has been created from 2023 and 2022 is more than the content that was produced combined from beginning of humanity up to 2021. So do you realize like the insane amount of information that's being generated every year, right? Whereas our brain hasn't really grown that much. Like since our early Homo sapien ancestors about 250,000 years ago up till now, maybe our brain has grown about 20 to 30% maximum. So our brain is incredible machine. It's very efficient. However, it is still, compared to the amount of information that's being dumped on us, we cannot process it. So yeah, so that's also another huge trend as to why it's the way the world is moving the way it is. right? And there isn't really much that we can do because everyone can create content nowadays with their phone. And just our access to it is just too widely available, right? So technological, cultural, and social changes, that's like what's happening right now. And I don't think it's a really scary thing. I think it's really, in a sense, it's a beautiful thing. I think we live in a world of new renaissance. And like what happened in Italy back in 15th and 16th century with Renaissance, it was incredible. And I was just in Italy for work, and when I go to Rome, I mean, it's incredible what they've done. The sheer scale and mastery and artistry of what they've done in the Renaissance is quite wild. However, I think right now we're living in the real Renaissance of, technological, cultural, and social changes with everything, with music, art, science, and culture, and I don't know, everything just converging into this like beautiful thing. So I think we should appreciate it and take advantage of it. So the point I'm trying to make is the potential customers now more often, more than you do, and more than business owners. Okay. So that's the world we live in. And we can use it for our advantage. So nowadays, because of all those reasons I explained, customers do not always choose the best product and service anymore. No, necessarily the cheapest either, but they choose the product and services they understand the fastest because of just so much information. So people are not really reading stuff unless they're really interested in it. They're scanning stuff. I mean, think about the way you guys consume content. It's just scrolling, or when you're reading blog article, you're reading the headlines to see if this is interesting information. Then you actually read the actual content in itself, right? You probably won't click into article unless the headline, or you won't probably click into YouTube video unless the thumbnail and the actual title of the video is something that you're interested in. And that really is about the same when it comes to people choosing product or service, or actually choosing a business. Okay, so we have to be found in search. And you might be wondering, okay, there are a lot of search engines, which should I start with? Is, as you can probably guess, you have to start with Google, because Google has 92.18 of the market share until July of 2019, because of like ChatGPT, and Microsoft had been actually been very interesting with this whole generative AI stuff. So they have taken some market share from Google, but still Google is very, very, very dominant. Google processes over 3.5 billion searches per day. It's probably more now. And in 2023, they have about still 85% of market share when it comes to search engines. So why start with the smaller pie, right? When you can start with the 85% effectiveness in the beginning. So I would say focus on Google. And when it comes to search engine statistics, about 12.29% of search queries have feature snippets in the search result, and I'll talk about feature snippets in a bit. And then the number one results in Google's organic search results has average CTR. It means so 31.7%. So CTR stands for click-through rate. And CTR is pretty much like, say, if 100 people looked at your search result page, if you're number one on Google search result, means out of 100 people, 31 people click onto your page out of all the searches, which is like quite significant. And like I said earlier, estimated 3.5 billion searches on Google every day. And 39% of purchases are influenced by relevant search, and 61.5% of desktop searches and 34.4% of mobile searches result in no clicks. So now back to what we're saying, optimizing Google business profiles most effective, because we are here because a lot of us, maybe our parents run a small shop or brick and mortar shop in New York. Maybe we want to help other small businesses. And I always recommend just optimizing Google business profile, because that's how most customers in the States, and especially in New York, they use to find local businesses. I mean, I'm sure you guys use Google Maps a lot to find local business. If you want to get a haircut, and you're just new to the neighborhood, or if you want to try somewhere new, then I'm sure you guys put like, hairstylist near me, something like that, or hairstyling. hair coloring, depending on what you guys want to do with your hair. And then, we'll come up, and then what do you guys usually do? You guys, start looking, distance, what the reviews say, what are their pricing like, right? And I'm sure you guys start comparing different things that are important to you, right? So that's why optimizing Google Business Profile is super, super effective. And if we look over here, right now, out of the top seven apps on on Android, for example, number one app is Google Chrome. Number two is Google. Number three is YouTube, which is owned by Google. Number five is Gmail, which is Google product. And then number seven is Google Maps. So you can still use Google Maps on Chrome and Google, right? So technically Google Map is available. Well, it's like Google is in the top three. No, five of their product is on the top seven apps of Android. And Google Maps is number one in navigation for iOS. So as you can see, it's pretty much dominating. Okay, so then if you use Google Maps, things like Google Maps, for example, as starting out, you might be also wondering, like, okay, why is it so important? Well, like, just to hone in on a little bit more about local SEO statistics. So first of all, 30% of all mobile searches are related to locations. And then number two, 76% of people who search on their smartphone on something nearby visit business within a day, right? So they look it up and they go within a day, right? That's why it's super important that we show up, our business that we want to help show up on Google Maps when people search for something, okay? And then number three, 28% of searches for something nearby result in a purchase, okay? And 54% of smartphone users search for business hours, and more than half search for directions to a local store. All right, so now that you guys kind of know, okay, I have a general idea of what local SEO is. I know why it's important. Okay, I get it. You just, thrown so much numbers at me, and I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. There was a lot of information, but I kind of get it that it's important. Okay, good. So now we're going to then talk about how to implement local SEO to my business. All right, so that you guys can get some practical implications out of it. So first, this is going to be a little complicated, but we don't have to make it complicated. But you guys should know what are the ranking factors for local search engine optimization, okay? By the way, before I go into how section, do you have any questions so far? Is that everyone feeling good? Yes? Everyone feeling all right? All right, cool. Okay, so let's look at the ranking factors. So number one is GAMB. So this is Google Business Profile. It used to be called Google My Business. And then there are reviews, they're on, and so so having a Google Business Profile is the most important ranking factor, right, for local SEO, because of the reasons I mentioned. And then reviews, we got reviews, and then we have on page. So on page is the actual content that is on individual pages of your directories. To also, it could be your website. And so it's actual content of pages. And then links is, say, for example, like other websites talking, having links to your website or your local business marketing channel, right? So for example, if other what would be a good example? So say you run a restaurant, and if there are other restaurant reviewing websites saying like, oh my God, this restaurant is great, and writes lots of reviews about you, then what happens? They're going to link your website, your restaurant website, right, on their website. And if their website has a lot of authority, and they link your website, and there are more links that's being created, Google sees that as, oh, okay, so this website is very valuable. So when somebody types this restaurant's name, or even in this specific keyword, like if they sell sushi, so then if somebody types like best sushi in Manhattan, because this website has a lot of links, right, to other websites that it has authority, chances are this website is going to come higher compared to other sushi selling restaurants. if that makes sense. Okay. And then the next one, behavioral, is pretty much like, how do people behave on your marketing channel? Like, do they just come in, they scroll for like 3 seconds and leave? Or do they come in and, they actually like click around and like stay in your website and, call you, or, try to make a reservation, or like sends you an email? Do they actually do stuff on your marketing channel? So Google actually sees that as also value. So the more time and more interactions they have on your marketing channels, it's going to affect your social engine optimization in rankings. Okay. And then citation is kind of like a yellow pages type of thing. So for example, like, back in the days, there's this like a thick book, like thick as a dictionary, right? And they had just all the different business information on this giant yellow book, right? So that's used to be like how people did citation for small businesses. Now it's a little bit different, but citation is pretty much like, there are similar websites to Google or Apple Maps or Bing places where they just list like thousands and thousands of different businesses on their website and their like directory website. So citation is similar to having your business being listed on like all these websites, like also like Better Business Bureau, to different like yellow pages like websites online. So if your business is listed in more of these places, Google sees as okay, so this business is actually listed in all these websites. And Facebook could also be part of a citation too. There are a lot of businesses on Facebook and Yelp, so on and so forth. So you guys, I hope you guys get that part there. And then personalization is more about like you personalizing your business for specific customers, right? So it doesn't really matter that much. But I think it may be important, not for social media search engine ranking factors, but actually to serve your customer. If your customer really cares about like personalization of the product and services, then it might be actually helpful to your business, right? Serving your customers and building a loyalty and building a relationship. All right, so that was a lot, right? But I just kind of want you to guys not understand everything, but just get a sense that these are some things that affects the ranking factor of local businesses. And also it's important to know these things, because a lot of this doesn't really require for you to spend ad budget, right? And spend a lot of money to do good on or improve on, right? So so that's also good. Okay. Okay, so by the way, before we go into this, is there anyone who doesn't have Google Business Profile with their parents' business, or because this part is actually just talking about how to sign up for Google Business Profile. So if you guys feel that you guys know how to do this, then we don't have to go through this part, and we can just go to maybe some case studies and Q&A. But if you guys want to, I can go through this.
I think it might be best to go through this really quickly, and then if
Super quickly.
any extra
Okay. All right.
assistance, we can follow up with that.
All right. I just want to be like mindful of everyone's time, because slowly everyone just has closed their video.
We also have a response in the chat. Sonia is saying she would appreciate if you go over that.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure if everyone
Everyone's
listening, because I feel like
listening.
everyone just closed their video and mute themselves, and everyone just disappeared into the darkness. So I don't know.
Right here.
Okay, sweet. All right, cool. So pretty much, guys, you go to Google Business Profile website, right? And you just simply type Google Business Profile, and then this page will come up as the first thing. So you click on it, and then on the top right, there's sign in. So I'm sure you guys have YouTube, all you guys. So you guys all probably have Gmail. But it's important that you guys sign this up with your business email, preferably, not your personal email, so that, when it comes to like business inquiries and stuff, it gets actually, you get emailed to your business email, not mixed in with your personal email stuff with like ton of also like, things that you might not want to lose some important emails when customer inquire something, right? So I recommend that you separate it from your personal with work. Okay, so then you sign in after you create the email, right? So you log in with your business Google account. And then, so far it's pretty straightforward, right? And then once you go in here, you might have a duplicate listing. So or sometimes people will create your business for you. If like, for example, there's like, oh, there's this business I go to all the time. Why isn't there a Google business profile on here? But it's very rare. So, but still, it's important that you should still see if you have your business on Google first. 9.9 out of 10 times you won't. So, you then, okay, so you write your business name here, and you also then add a category. And you can't create your own category. You have to pick from the list of business category that Google provides. So you just have to pick the closest one. And it's also very important to have a very, very close category for your business profile, because it's very important part of the ranking factor. So for example, if I have a business called Kevin's Hair Salon. However, if my business category is a supermarket, then when people type something like a salon, I'm not gonna really come up because my category is a supermarket, right? So, so even if you try to pick the closest one, however, don't be like scared to like not being able to find, for example, if you can't find the closest category, because you can always change, and you can also add more categories, like the second and the primary one, secondary one, and then you can add extra categories. So no worries, you can always change the stuff. Also the name too, business name, you can change it. And you can play around with it by adding some keywords and stuff. I can talk about that a little bit later. So if your business has a physical retail store that customer can visit, then you can say yes or no. You may be a business that just have you guys just do a service, and you're not really like have a retail store, but you provide service to different locations, for example, right? So then you can also list as a Google business if that's the case. And then you can enter your business address. You don't have to, if you, you have to actually put this section, but you don't have to show your address if you are service-based business that go to different locations. Oh, another thing, guys, what is super important here is so this is also my recent findings in recent years, that if you are service-based business that is going to different locations, but you don't have a retail store per se, the customers can actually come and visit, do not show your business address on your Google business profile, because it will get suspended. So I don't know why it's part of the algorithm, but this took me longest time. It happens to some of my clients, and they're just keep getting suspended over and over and over. And I didn't understand why, because it's there because they're service-based business. They're going to different locations, but they show their locations of a retail store that people couldn't visit. So, okay, so make sure that's something that if you're helping small business owners, just make a note of that. Just do not show your business actual, like the business address, if people can't come visit, all right, because it'll get suspended. All right, so then this is the part that I was just talking about, the add the service area for your business. So where do you serve your customers? You can add specific areas. You can add zip codes. You can add as many. You can serve the world if you want, but I recommend that you are more selective and specific in the service area in this case for this type of businesses, because you will have a higher chance of coming up in that location or nearby location. Because I told you guys earlier in one of the stats, I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but 30% of your local searches and search engine optimization statistics are based on locations. Okay, so for example, if I have 1,000 reviews and I am a super hip business, right, that in my area, but if somebody types whatever that I'm related to my business in an area that's close to the customer, Google is going to show that business first if they have a decently optimized business data. So location is more important. Okay, so I would say be selective with your location, because that really matters a lot when it comes, especially when it comes to local stuff. And then you add your business number and website address. If you don't have a website, then you just simply click I don't have a website. And then there are a few different ways to get verified. So depending on your business category and industry, Google verifies in different way. Usually, Google sends you a postcard, right? And then your postcard arrives in your mail, and then you just type this number, that verification that you get in the physical mail, in there, so Google knows that, oh, okay, so they're a real ad, like they have a real space. Okay, and then also recently Google added this new way of recording video of your business. So you can show your location of short video, or you can show your specific like equipment, and you can show your business, actual your retail store, to tell Google that you're a legitimate business. So you don't have to do this whole postcard thing and wait like 5 days to over a week to get this thing to just verify. Also, sometimes mail get lost and then you have to reapply again, which is like annoying. So I like the Google Business video verifying thing, which is also cool. And then pretty much you just fill in the profile. So once you create, oh, there is 2 slides in one. I think I was just trying to show this profile strength. So once you have all the categories pretty much done, then you get this profile strength into this green circle. But some, yeah. So try to get that is not like a big deal if you don't. But pretty much, so once you then log in, create your Google Business profile, it's verified, and then you log in, and you type your business name, then you'll get this section right before the search results. So only you can see this, or any manager who's managing Google Business profile will also see this. So I would say, just try to fill in all the profile, all the products if you have stuff. Add all the services there, because it's all part of the keywords that people it will come up when people search for it. And also add a lot of photos. And what's important here is not trying to be fancy, but just, like trying to be as accurate as possible, right? How are you doing on time? Okay, got 15 minutes. All right, so I'll just try to move a little bit faster here. Are we good so far, guys? Are you guys following? Is this helpful? Is this helpful so far? Okay, cool. As long as I'm trying to, as you guys receive value, that's all I care about. Okay. All right. So first, business name. So you can choose a set of keywords, that is very, very vital to your business, because more likely people are gonna type like haircut near me, hairstyling, men's haircut near me, or something like that, for example, if you're solo. So I would say be careful with stuffing too much keyword here. But you can add a little bit of keywords on the title, and that helps a lot. And then like I said, make sure your business category is super, super close as possible. Also writing decent business description. Why not? People, if they care, people read about your business, right? So try to make it personable, likable, be yourself. If you really are terrible at writing, use ChatGPT. I don't care. Just trying to describe your business in a way that makes sense, but don't ramble on. Just be like simple and concise. Website address also, right there, important. Reviews. I mean, when you go on Amazon, what do you guys do, right? You look at reviews. Whenever you buy stuff at local businesses, same thing. People would like to reduce risk. No one likes to take a risk on a business that doesn't have any reviews, because you don't know what kind of service you're gonna get, right? So can't mention enough, reviews are super duper important. And then also same thing with services. Based on your business category and what industry you're on, you're gonna you may able to add services or not. Most, like 8 out of 10 times you can. So you can add all the services, be descriptive, right pricing there. People don't want to guess how much things cost. They just want to know, like, tell me how much it is, and then I'll think about it, right? So don't be just we're, like I said, we are in a information that is informational age where everything's overloaded. So just be as transparent as possible, be as accurate as possible, show them your best, foot forward, like show them the best presentation of the business. Don't be shy with like photos, right? Just try to take, clean photos on a nicely lit day. Natural sunshine. I don't know what your business look like, and it's obviously very big, and I can't just talk about very specific industry right now because we're speaking very very generally, but just show them everything that is accurately and as best presentation of yourself. And most business owners, I notice that they just make this stuff and they don't look at it again. But thing is like, if people are constantly looking at Google Maps to find new businesses, why not always just check on your business to see how your businesses look, right? It's like going on a date, or it's like putting your profile on a dating app and you never look at it again and you wonder why you don't get matches. Maybe sometimes you gotta change your photos, or I don't know, change your description. It's kind of like similar. It's like dating with new customers, right? In a sense, like you just want to optimize it. You want to, have the best presentation of your business online because people are constantly checking it out, right? So, and creates new relationships. And I think, and you don't have to spend any money on ads. So, like, why not, right? So if, for example, this is like a non-optimized profile versus optimized profile, like as you can see, before there was nothing. Right after, now there is like way more information for people to check out, more reviews, right? So Honey, for example, has 3 reviews right now here, but now they have over 109 and they're thriving. They're killing it. So what is the most important things among 10 things to do in optimizing Google Business Profile? Out of these, just quick question, what do you guys think? What do you think? You can put it in the chat. What do you guys think is the most important outside of having the information as accurately listed as possible? You guys can give it a guess. Oh, okay, Lulu, hitting me with the reviews. All right, I see you. Is that how do you say your name, Lulu? I hope I pronounce it right. Yes. Okay, since low participation, but since we're running out of time. Website address. Oh, okay, okay. Yes, somewhat that's important too, because there's this algorithm in Google called exact domain. So if your website is called Thai restaurant near me.com, and then if somebody types Thai restaurant near me, you'll come up. Promise you. Yes, so website address is important. Good pictures to show the business. Yes, yes. I mean, a picture can inspire 1,000 words, right? And I think sometimes a word can inspire 1,000 pictures. So words are important too, but image is very important. Okay, so from my experience, reviews, because yes, like all those things, they come into play, but I don't know. I think it's just this people's psychology of not wanting to take risks when especially come to new businesses. They just love reading reviews. People love reading reviews, mitigating, minimizing risk, and I don't know, people just want a good experience. So it's better to have more reviews or better reviews. I would say it's better to have good reviews and a lot of reviews. It's best, right? But if you have some negative reviews, I would say a lot of business owners get caught up on reviews. Be like, oh, this person wrote such a terrible thing about my business, and I feel really upset. And I'm like, right. Just it's not a fair game. There's really, if somebody leaves a bad review, there's nothing really you can do. You can flag it and you can try to bring it down, but like I would much rather put your energy into getting more positive reviews and just like put more of good stuff on top of the bad stuff, right? So it's kind of like, imagine you have a jug of water, right? And I just put like spoonful of dirt inside the water, right? and I just mixed it, right? And like, how would you guys feel, right? And a lot of people spend time trying to get that dirt out of the water with their spoon, which is like really hard, right? But I think the better strategy, I think also in life, is to just pour that jug, with more water. That way, the water eventually will purify itself. So just pour your life with more of the good stuff, and your life will be good, right? Rather than focusing on the dirt that's inside the water. I don't know if that analogy makes sense, but it's kind of the same with reviews, right? So just don't, focus on negative stuff. Just try to focus getting more positive, good reviews. Okay. So, there's all this like on page links, behavioral citation, person. Okay. All this stuff. Yes, important. But I would say just by having as accurate information as possible on Google Business Profile, and getting a lot of reviews and positive reviews, just even having those two, you're 80%, you optimize your social search engine directories, right? And also by focusing on Google, you already did like 80% of the work, which is great. So it's not too difficult. You just have to pay attention and keep optimizing as best as you can. So like I said, once you fill out your business profile as accurately as possible, put some like decent photos, then there are different ways. So this is also another big pain point for business owners, like, oh, I don't know how to ask for reviews, I feel shy, right? And that's the feedback I get a lot. Just I always tell them, simply ask. If you don't ask, you're not going to get it, right? So best time to ask for reviews for customer is when they are super happy, when they're like, oh my God, I love this, or like, oh my God, thank you. Or when you build, relationship with customers, and you can just simply ask when you guys are chit-chatting. But best time to ask is when they're happy about your product and service. Number two is creating a QR code. It makes it easy for to scan with their phone. So they just simply open their camera, just the link pops up, and then them straight to the leaving reviews. So it's quite easy. I want to show you guys how to do this. It's super easy. We might run out of time, but okay. So pretty much, if you have a Google Business profile, for example, let me just like show you super quickly. Okay, so sorry. All right, so say if I go to like all right, let's just any business profile right here. It's one that I'm managing. So if I go to reviews right here, do you guys see get more reviews right here? Right, so I click that, and then I get this review link, right? So I copy this review link, and then I can just pretty much go to any like QR code generator, right? And there are tons of free QR code generator. Like a lot of you guys maybe use Canva, so maybe you can use Canva here. Let's see. Generate QR code. Do I have to sign in? Please don't tell me I have to sign in. Okay, so you can kind of use something like this. I'm gonna just maybe go with something easier. So that just for sake of oh, actually, silly me. I think I have a link right here that I made. Yes. Huh. Okay. So QR code generator.com. Okay, fine. I'll accept cookies. All right. So pretty much I just put the URL, the get review that I made right here. Oh shoot, sorry. I lied. So I just feel a little rushed because I know we're running out of time. Okay, so this was the get review link right here. Bam. And then now I have this QR code that I can download or screen capture, whatever, and use for my business. So you can print it out and have people ask for a QR code. So if you guys get your camera out and then actually test this QR code, you'll be able to go straight to leaving a review for Simple NYC, best chef made poke bowl in New York City. I recommend Simple. They're in Chinatown. They're great. Betty is a great business owner running this poke bowl place for a while. But anyway, okay, so you guys kind of get the idea, right? All right. Oh my God, we're running out of time. All right, I feel rushed. All right, so just want to show you guys a quick case study. This was a skincare clinic. They had 9 reviews, 3.2 stars. Do you guys want to go here and get your face taken care of? How do you feel? How do you feel right now? You're like, I don't know. Is there a better alternative? You're probably like wondering, I'm not sure. 3.2 really, for my face. But then bam, now how do you guys feel? 7.731 reviews, right? Better lit photos show the business owner's face, right? Also, outside of it, right? So is at the end of the day, it's about perspective, right? It's about perspective. And then we also added some keywords there. Also, like I said, reviews are right there in your face, so it's so important to get the credibility of the business by having good reviews. And it necessarily, lots of reviews not also good. Somebody asked me before, like, is it better to have more reviews or better reviews? So for example, like for this business owner, she told me that a lot of customers hit her up because she didn't have so many reviews. So having like about somewhere between like 50 to 100 or even less makes you feel like you're more of like a authentic business, instead of having over like hundreds and thousands of review makes you feel a little like, I don't know, commercial, I guess. So sometimes people don't necessarily like business having like so many reviews because they think then it's too popular or something like that, or there'll be too much foot traffic, and they just want something more of like a calmer, more of a local chill experience, right? So it really depends on your industry, I would say, to answer that question a little bit better while we were going through the case studies. So this business owner is still booked for like the next 3 or 4 months. That's how well they're doing. So is this local SEO stuff, it's not just a temporary thing, but it actually can change your business completely. Like I've seen it over and over and over again by really optimizing your, business profiles and really optimizing the stuff. Your business will turn around 360 like crazy. Like it changes lives. So that's why I am very passionate about this stuff, because it really impacts people and their families and their business and quality of their life. So like as you can see in this data, like the improvements compared to the same period like the year before, is up in the thousands of percent. And if you're seeing data like this, your business will change. Caribbean bakery business, same thing. I mean, they already had pretty decent number of reviews, 12, but their profile wasn't really optimized. So now it's a Caribbean bakery place, and they had about 80 more reviews, and now their business did really well. So the business owner was in the negative during weekdays and making it barely even on weekends, and now they have people waiting outside the line on weekends. Weekdays they're killing it. They're in the super positive cash flow. So the business owner is very happy once the optimization happened. And this is also like Flower Shop in Flushing. They did very well after the optimization. It works also for like restaurant industry. Yeah, so yeah, I have like hundreds of these case studies, so I don't want to bore you guys, but trust me, it works. Okay. All right. So I guess feeling like this business is very personalized. So yeah. Okay. So close greetings. Sorry, guys. I tried to run it super fast. I did my best, but my name is Kevin Yongmun Lee, and I specialize in communication design. It's my LinkedIn. That's my agency website right there. Also, if you guys want to personally hit me up, ask me questions, pick my brain, collaborate maybe, I don't know. There's my email. So this webinar has been sponsored and co-hosted by Asian American Federation and Bridges from Borders. Thank you so much. And I'll be open to Q&A. I can stick around for a bit and answer your questions if you guys have any questions. I know you guys probably want to go and sleep. I know it's probably a long day, right? So, yep. You're welcome, Sam. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I can stick around for a bit and answer any local SEO questions. Okay.
Yeah, I was
Go ahead.
Actually curious because it seemed like a lot of, the advice had been so specialized for, local businesses. And if any of these businesses or initiatives were interested in maybe
Mm.
opening up a new location or, having more of a national impact, how would that be different? Like some of the advice you've given, how would you adjust it for the additional businesses?
No, so I would say because like I said, like the most important actually ranking factor is the location, right? So if you're having chains and if you're like having more of like a national thing, I would say like I'm sure you guys will have in that case it's more focused on the national strategy, right? So it's like big picture, but still you have to focus on you need to have your local strategy, right? So and Google allows you to add as many chain as possible, right? So I would say just keep focusing on the area that you're serving, and no matter what your business is, like, and doesn't matter if you're part of a small puzzle in the big puzzle, still like your small I mean your location is serving the local communities, right? So I'll focus on individual store or whatever that business may be, to optimize for that local community. And then by having all those small dots, obviously it'll be a way bigger picture, right? But then it's going to create the even bigger impact, right? So I would just still, it's like the fundamentals is still the same. Yeah.
That's a
I
great
don't know if that
question,
answered your
yeah.
question.
Kevin, can I ask a follow-up to that?
Sure.
So keeping in mind that a lot of the participants tonight may be helping businesses up in Buffalo or Rochester,
Oh,
um,
okay. Mhm.
would you recommend that these businesses, if you're a restaurant, for example, serving folks in the city of Buffalo, is it okay or advisable to have like all of the city or metropolitan area of Buffalo as part as the service area, or like is a smaller scale better?
I think it depends on the competition and what industry, right? So if it's restaurant, and for example, if there isn't any sushi restaurant in the in the 5 mile radius of me, right? And then in the seventh or between 5 to 10 mile area, if I'm the only sushi restaurant, then somebody types sushi near me, like I'm gonna be the only restaurant that pops up. I'm gonna be the first, right? Given that it's like decently optimized. I don't know if I'm answering your question correctly, Io, right? So I would say it really depends on how much competition you have, and also yeah, the location and yeah, it really depends. So I can't say like you should be more of focus on the macro or micro. Yeah, depends.
No, that makes sense. Thank you.
Mm,
And then
mm.
another question I had was earlier at the beginning, you mentioned that some people may have already created a business profile for you, although the owner is not creating or managing that profile. Would you
Yeah.
say it's better to try claiming that existing profile or like to set up a new one altogether?
I would say just set up a new one because I've seen this is like this is actually like the worst case scenario. So what happened is, for example, I have a client who runs a gym, right? And in the past, because they didn't have any online presence, one of their gym like member, right, created their business profile on Yelp for them, but then they end up getting like really bad reviews on Yelp and actually end up hurting the business. And then now they're no longer a member. So the gym owner has no idea who made this profile, can't claim it because it's not their email, right? And so they just had to create a new one and get more reviews, more than the one that they had bad reviews on,
Okay.
and actually just have to we had to create a better performing online presence on that platform so that people don't have the wrong idea. Yeah. So it's always just usually better and faster to create a new one than trying to claim something that you technically don't own. So
That's great
yeah.
to know. Thank you.
Mhm. All right. So is there any other question, guys? Let me see.
Yeah, I know earlier
Yes.
you you briefly mentioned, the other ways that you can kind of market your business's content or topic, such as through social media or through blogs. And I mean, obviously, with different social media services, it reaches different age groups. What with Facebook reaching an older audience, Instagram reaching a younger audience. And I kind of wonder, like, in your experience, how had businesses kind of utilized social media and that understanding to expand their network?
Oh, expand. Okay. So for like in this case, small business owners, I never seen any small business owners actually did well on social media. Because imagine your mom and I mean, because social media is especially like say for example, like we like Instagram. People spend a lot of time on Instagram because it's such a visually, like stimulating platform. And I don't see business owners, especially small business owners like mom and pops, doing well on social media like Instagram platform specifically, because number one, the content doesn't live there very long. So for example, like when I consult with creators, I always recommend them to create their long form content on YouTube and then break it down to shorts and content into social media like Instagram and TikTok from that long form content. So the reason is because YouTube is a more of a lean in information a platform, right, where you are open to watching 15-minute 30-minute video if you really like that person, right? Whereas Instagram, like those places, I mean, think about how you behave, right? How you consume content in those platforms is literally just a thumb, right? And then also there's so many distractions, right? There are stories at the top, you have DMs, right? You may have more than one profile, right? I don't know if you're running different profiles for other clients, or you may have different your I don't know presentations of different brands they maybe you be running, or like there's just so much going on. So and now there are reels and there are also discovery, and it's a very distracting place. Therefore, business owners may take a lot of time on their graphic design and they may not be good at it, and they try to promote something about their business, right? On Instagram, what happens? It's like not going to really perform well because they're not going to be consistent. And also it's not going to be interesting for people on Instagram to capture their distracted minds, right? So they try so hard and they try a few times on social media, and then what happens? They don't get really results, right? So then they get discouraged and then they stop, right? But like Instagram is, the only way to do well on Instagram is to post consistently, right? And have a strategy. And even if you just stop even posting consistently, you stop for a week or even 2 weeks, you're now back to the start, right? Unless you have built a decent size audience. So I really don't think it's worth it for small business owners, especially. And so that's just kind of the part that it's just hard because business owners are not that savvy to be constantly creating content consistently on this in places like Instagram. But also YouTube is not easy either, right? It is very saturated. And also what makes at least YouTube different is that you can always go back to your old videos and optimize it again, right? So for example, you can like change your thumbnail, you can change your video title, you can change your description, you can even like re-upload your video but still have maintained the views, right? So you can like still do stuff to your old videos so that it comes up even a year, 2 years, 3 years later, right? And I think it's really the only social media platform that is worth investing in long term, because you can really also show your personality there. We go on YouTube because we love all these personalities, right? So I think if you're a business owner, that you're able to be interesting and not necessarily like entertaining all the time, but just be yourself in a way that's like wholesome, and you can just talk about your business or stuff that you care about. I know a business owner who just shoots video of him prepping, right? He has a camera, like a GoCam on top of him. He doesn't even show his face. He just has a video of him chopping up carrots, vegetables, and it's just him just talking about his life and why he failed. He tried so many different businesses, And, this is his fourth restaurant that he tried to run, and it's another failure. And he just talks about his life, and it's doing really well. People actually go there to eat because they like him, right? And like this different, and so it could be really anything, just as long as you can be like real and I don't know, like provide some value. I think that's a better strategy for business owners than try to be consistent on Instagram, because it's not effective. Yeah. So I
Yeah, that
think
makes
YouTube is
sense.
probably, yeah, I think YouTube is probably more worth their time
Yeah, that makes sense. So what
in
I'm
long term.
so what I'm kind of getting from this is that, YouTube is like a good long-term strategy for marketing, but maybe, using like Instagram or Facebook could be like a way to kind of supplement it just to have a presence, but not with the intention of marketing.
Exactly. And I would say also focus on few things that actually work, which I notice is three areas, right? So first, either you inspire with your content, or number two, you educate, or number three, you entertain. Okay. So you can mix these three bags. But if you are just self-boasting, for example, like just buy from me, right? Like I have this out, I have this new product, like people are going to ignore you, because we are constantly bombarded with marketing messages that if I haven't received value from you in the past, I don't care, right? Because I'm constantly being sold on all the time. Nobody likes to be sold on. But if you are trying to provide value in your post, try to inspire someone, educate someone, teach them someone to do something, or just be straight up like entertaining, right? And makes me laugh, or right. I mean, that's why cat videos, dog videos, pet videos are doing so well, because it make you feel something is entertaining just by looking at them. So yeah. So but I would say for business owners, probably better to have those three things, right? Somehow mixed over time, and then you ask for something once you have a decent amount of audience who care enough about your product and service. But that takes a lot of time. So that's why I think actually having more of a long form content on YouTube, or just actually investing content on your website by blog or long form content to rank for keywords, is I think better strategy for small business owners. Because like, I don't know if you guys had MySpace back in the days, but it's similar to Facebook, and then it went away. I don't know if you guys maybe too like so MySpace was pretty much like before Facebook, it was a social media. But what I'm trying to get to is the MySpace went away. They disappeared. So what happens with all your content that was on MySpace? It disappears, right? Yeah, I don't know if you guys know MySpace, but it's similar to Facebook. But say imagine like Facebook disappeared tomorrow because Mark started being super creepy with privacy, and then the feds and the government was like, you guys are creepy, like stop tracking people's personal information and selling them, right? So you guys are out of business. What happens to all the stuff that was on Facebook, for example? What would happen? All your business. Imagine you had like 10,000 followers on your business profile on Facebook. What happens? It goes away with Facebook. So the content that you have on Facebook is not yours. It's not owned by you. It's owned by Facebook. Same thing with Instagram. You may have 1 million followers on Instagram, but if for some reason, if Instagram goes out of business tomorrow, which I highly doubt it, right? But hypothetically, then what happens with all your followers? They're gone, right? But your website is owned by you. You own that domain. You own that space, and it's a very quiet space. It's hard to have a thriving website, but hey, you own it. So, why not grow something, your own garden, rather than go to community garden where everybody is trying to promote their garden. I don't know. So it's kind of, you got to take advantage of both. But I would say, yeah, I would say focus more on your website, and actually run ads for people to come to your website, not your Instagram profile, right? But actually have people come to, like, so you can use social media platform because there's attention there, which is super valuable, like I said, and driving them to a greatly optimized website where it's about just you. People are coming in there just to check out your stuff, right? So I think that's better way to convert people into customers. If you really solve a problem and your service and product is good. By the way, all this marketing stuff, I want to also mention this. All this marketing stuff, guys, at the end of the day, doesn't really matter, nor it's going to really work long term if your product and services are bad. Okay. So make sure that your product and services are good to begin with. Okay. That is always number one. I can't stress that enough, because if your product and services and the way that you guys solve problem is bad, and you put a lot of effort into creating a brand and look and feel and all this stuff, and like put so much energy into marketing, what you end up doing is you're promoting bad product and services. So it becomes a vicious cycle, right? So then, so at the end of the day, all this marketing stuff doesn't matter if your product and services suck. So make sure that is taken care of and is good, and you are solving problem, whatever the problem that you choose, effectively first before you think about marketing. Okay. All right. So is there anything else? Anything else we could talk about?
I think those were all really excellent points that you made. And actually, if you know the name of that business you mentioned earlier that had that YouTube channel, I would love to like have the link just to take a look at
Oh,
it.
yeah. No, shoot. Like, all right, let's just send me your email. I'll look at it, because we follow a lot of YouTube channels. As one of those, I have to find it. But it's really, that one's really funny. I like it. All right, so it's the restaurant food prep.
Yeah, I put my email in the chat again.
Okay, food prep one. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna write it down. It bridges from borders. Okay. Bridges. So it could be anything, guys. And I don't know, like sometimes people are like, oh, okay, what should I make for content? I'm like, just pick one thing and do it over and over. Like it will stick. For example, like, I don't know, I could call my channel like Around the Corner, or a corner interview TV or something. And I could just, be in a corner of a New York City street. I just pick a corner, whoever comes around the corner, I just interview them and just ask for, I don't know, like things about life, or just and then keep interviewing over and over, and then just cut snippets that are like really interesting things they said. And I don't know, it could be that, right? Like, just then if I make like 100 video, 200 video, it's gonna stick, right? It's not about ideas, and also, I see people get caught up with ideas all the time. Guys, ideas are cheap. It's super cheap. What's really valuable is actually putting that idea into an action, right? And actually putting time into committing and doing that, right? That is valuable, and that is the hard part. So, yeah. But anyway, okay, guys. So I think that's enough